Just to inform you, I'm from Kalou Constituency. That is where I was raised, but I am not a voter there. But I've been keenly following on the events of Kalou Constituency by elections and the debate surrounding it, and then the hype of watu wa mlima wako hivi, but then I'm not really convinced of that phenomena that adds anything significant to our political dimension. Because myself, I tend to believe that the setting of the matrix whereby 10 millionaires rule over 10 million beggars played very well, because you could see people clamoring for goodies. If those people were economically empowered, there was no way they would be rushing for those goodies. But because the system is set that there must be 10 millionaires who rule over 10 million beggars, then the electoral vote belongs to the guy who is among the 10 millionaires, and the voter forms the 10 million beggars. So the system has to feed the 10 million beggars. The one of the 10 millionaires has to feed the 10 million beggars. So that is exactly what was playing there. I don't think it had anything to do with that us, the people of Kalau, are like this. It's only that it's one of the county that is impoverished, that people will come. But I also want to applaud that this time round, there is this aspect that now that we are ruled by 10 millionaires and we are 10 million beggars, our votes are for exchange and our votes are our birthright. The 10 millionaires ruling over 10 million beggars was our first independent MP, J.M. Kariuki Clarion, when he was raising an alarm to the government of Kenya and telling it, the system that we are having in Kenya, it can't work, even if we do elections, even if we choose who, because the system is set that we shall always be having 10 millionaires coming to 10 million beggars to seek for votes. And it will never have any tangible effect on the people, because it's based on handouts, and handouts are not sustainable, because such merchandise of craft to buy the birthright of the people. You see, it's not like a seed where you give somebody a seed because you say you give everybody a seed so that by that seed they will multiply it, and at the end of the year everybody who got a seed will be having 10 seeds, 50 seeds. It's just handout. And that is where the clamor for Harambee becomes very popular. Harambees are very popular because of that system of 10 millionaires ruling over 10 million beggars, because now 10 million beggars will always want to receive Harambee's donation from the 10 millionaires. And that's the system that is in Kenya. This time it was uncovered very well. That is what we have. So even if we were to hold elections, it will always be the 10 millionaires playing gifts and enticement to the 10 million beggars. So it can't change, and that is where now the system showed how faulty it is. And then the abomination I hate, when the politician comes to buy the birthright of a voter with a bowl of soup, and then claiming that he's bringing projects. And the money that the politician is coming to bring, no, it's the money that was contributed by the taxpayer, who is the voter. Now the voter is delusioned by the system of 10 millionaires standing over 10 million beggars, and the voter thinks that system is perfect, and the biggest donor of who give donations to the 10 million beggars is hailed as a leader, and where that one of the 10 millionaires get that money is the pocket of the voter, them the 10 million beggars. So the 10 million beggars are down, and above them is 10 millionaires. So the system stays like that. So whether you vote, whether you don't vote, whoever you vote in joins the club of 10 millionaires, and you all have to remain 10 million beggars. So whether you vote your own relative, somebody of your own blood, somebody who is your neighbor, who is your friend, it can't change the system, because the system will still sit with 10 millionaires above 10 million beggars, and there's nothing you can do, because anyone you elect joins the 10 millionaires. Everyone you ascend to power joins the club of 10 millionaires, and the citizens remain 10 million beggars. So the solution is not who we elect, even we are fighting on who is going to elect. Like now, the Kalou was tricky because now all of them are our sons. There's none who is from outside. So then again, who are we going to be giving our vote? Is it Mushina? Is it Ngoto? Because they are all ours. Then you see the 10 millionaires riding over 10 million beggars keep us to fight against each other, because we are pulling to put one of us into the 10 millionaires. So it's the system, and my take is that we can't have the full independence and freedom in Kenya until the system is reverted such that it's the 10 million beggars who have more say over the resources than the 10 millionaires. So it's something that need to be discussed, even if the people of other parts of the country are saying and hailing it as, oh, something that we saw, something that was good. But it was a play, it's a book, And just to alert you that the system of 10 millionaires over 10 million beggars is the one that was inherited by our government of independence, and they continued to hype it. And Harambe became a mortal clarion for the system, because the only way one of the 10 millionaires who are seated over 10 million beggars, the only way to retain power is to do Harambe. So Harambe became the first call clarion engine that feeds the system of 10 millionaires above 10 million beggars. So without Harambe, then we cannot have the system flowing. And you can imagine how powerful it is when the former president Mwai Kibaki came in and removed Harambe, because Harambe is the system that feed that structure of order of government, whereby we have elites and beggars. He removed Harambe, and when he removed Harambe, everyone who is alive today is a witness of how the economy surged. Then the economy charged completely. Why? There were no Harambes. The 10 millionaires had to validate their work through other means by not Harambe. The money came back to the economy. There was less graft, because the allure of retaining your electorate popularity through Harambe was no longer there, so you got to do the right work. And that is how the Kibaki economy worked, surged, and charged Kenya back to the hope of our independence. But now again, after he left, we went back to Harambe, and you know Harambes are the ones that the elites, the 10 millionaires sitting over 10 million beggars, used to validate the claim of power and the seat to be there. So my thinking is that now we have to relook not at who are we electing into office. What system are we using to choose our leaders, and what system operates in our country? And then I also want to alert you that I already have a plan of how we can remove the system of 10 millionaires sitting over 10 million beggars. And that is my clarion call. That is the activity I'm doing here when you see me. It's on this clarion call that you will find on my page. It says kuzaliwa taifa jipya la Kenya, because kuzaliwa taifa jipya la Kenya must put away the system of 10 millionaires over 10 million beggars. A good plan is in place to achieve that. So against the clarion call that was with our MP JM Kariuki, that is what I'm calling JM Kariuki Return, JM Kariuki 2, because we are going to be reviving the claim of JM Kariuki as one who says the system of government we are having here, it will never work. And you see, when you oppose the system, it's dangerous. Because now when the MP was saying the system is faulty, need to be disbanded, he was not opposing the Kenyatta. The Kenyatta was the inheritance of the system. So he was not the enemy of Kenyatta. He was not criticizing Kenyatta. He was talking about the system of 10 millionaires ruling over 10 million beggars that is faulty, that we are using here. And of course, during that time, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta had already appointed him a minister. He was an assistant minister. He was part of his government. So he was no enemy of Jomo Kenyatta, but he was the enemy of the system. So also coming to look at it like those assassination post-independent were not specifically done by the government that was in place, were done by the masters who had handed over power in a system, and they were very afraid to see any people who are going to wake up and realize, even if we have gotten independence, even if we are now sitting on the land, the rule over the land is totally different, because it is a 10 millionaires underneath. We having 10 million beggars. So again, we will be coming back, bringing forth our forefathers, fighters who came before and were able to see where our nation went wrong and tried to correct it, but were stopped by the forces that were there that time. But this time we will be calling the second coming, the return of the claim of JM Kariuki, that the system of 10 millionaires and 10 must be removed. So I'll also be calling you to join in my movement of the reclaiming of the claim of JM Kariuki 2, which we will dub remove 10 millionaires riding over the back of 10 million beggars. On the top of that, we shall also having the return of Dedan Kimathi on the claim of our land. We also be having the return of Menelik III, because Menelik III is a dynasty of the rule over our land that we do not know about, but affects the way our rule on earth and our independence on earth feeds our freedom.